I had the opportunity to speak my own language fluently. When we come to the point of why is the Kalinago people interested in reparations, that's where it all begins. Where is my language? Where is my religious practices? Where is my cosmogony? Where lives my Kalinago spirit, my brave warrior spirit? This country, this jurisdiction, this Dominican state, this somewhat imagined community, Dominican state, is not something new. Is not something that evolved simple. It was a big struggle, and through historical records, we have seen that there was a Caribbean civilization long before all of this. There are people with a culture, with music, with dance, with a religion, with traditional practices. And at a certain point in all of their evolution, they got to a certain stage, and that evolution was no more. Moving from a tribal society, moving from people, and the historical records would have shown that the Kalinago people moved from the south, from South America, from the mainland into the Caribbean region. And they established themselves within the Caribbean archipelago. Various European records have illustrated that somehow they got rid of a previous indigenous community, or of a previous indigenous society. The question remains, how accurate is this discussion? The Kalinago people, or Caribs as you say, did they really wipe out an Arawak race, for example? Did they actually enslave men and take women as their wives? If we fast forward to the history of African slavery, we'll see many inaccuracies in the chronicles of Europeans. So if they can, at one point of our history, make certain truths, isn't it possible that 200 years before that these could have been different? So, here in the question, what is the indigenous perspective? I'd like to start from myself. Growing up in the Kalinago territory was not an easy task. You happen to be living on 3,700 acres of land, more or less. You are devoid of some basic amenities, like electricity, water, and so forth. And you grow in this community, and when you travel out of the community, you go into a wide African Dominican community, and you see a different material condition. And my experience is growing up in the 80s, and I'd like to acknowledge the Chief Ghana Joseph, and also a good friend of mine, Patrick Hill. And we have had the discussions many, many times, the struggles of growing up in the Kalinago territory. If you do the oral history, you will see it is not an easy task to grow up in the Kalinago territory. So, you are in a situation where everything seems to be against you. You come to a point where you find out that maybe you are a third citizen, or third-class citizen in your own country, in your own white Kubuli. And the story is that you see things outside differently. You go to Marigot, for example, or to Castlebrus, and you see the wall houses, and you see the pickup trucks, and you don't see that within the Kalinago territory. And why is that so? The condition is, like I said earlier, it didn't happen overnight. We would know for a fact that the Kalinago people existed in major areas, beautiful areas in Dominica. Why would they choose the Kalinago territory? Have you ever been there? Very rugged topography. And check out Posse, Portsmouth. Check out Roseau. Scott's Head? Salisbury? Appling? So why would we, do you think we'd actually choose to want to live in the Kalinago territory? And as I build this discourse here, I will have you to understand that being in the Kalinago territory was not bad after all. It's not bad after all. But we were pushed out. And we were pushed out for one reason, and one reason only, is that a plantation economy was being developed. And the plutocracy, the white people, and certain free black people wanted space for development of their own enterprise. Now the enterprise is a capitalist enterprise. The enterprise is an enterprise for growth for themselves. Now when you look at every indigenous community anywhere around the world, you will understand that, or you'd appreciate that, we talk about Mother Earth. We don't own the earth. We don't own any parcel of land. And a recent composer, a recent black, I can maybe say Pan-Africanist composer said, "C'est passé, nous qu'a passé." So that was the gist, that was the essence of the Kalinago people in Dominica. And so we were clustered into this little area. And if you look at the structure of the Kalinago territory, if you do a topographical survey, if you look at it on Google Maps, you will see a natural fortress. And many writers have attested to this. For example, Dr. Nishich has spoken of this for a very, very long time, and speaking to the movement of people, getting to that area. And if you go right across the Caribbean, the Dominican jurisdiction, you will see pockets of Kalinago people everywhere. But the majority of them were squashed into this little space. And I'll reiterate that they were squashed there because of the capitalist enterprise. And this is the same enterprise that brought in African slavery. This is the enterprise that when my Kalinago forefathers said, no, we are not working for you for nothing. Nonsense. And it was a policy of the European government to say, let's wipe out these people. Let's get rid of them. They are savages. So at the beginning, you were a noble native. When he came and he brought pineapples and he brought fruits, you are a noble native. At the point when he said, no, we shall not work, you become a terrible savage. And when we come to the point and we say, why are we interested in reparations? Our struggle has to move along with the African struggle. And I'm going to try not to be a little biased this evening, because my ancestry, my heritage is also of black ancestry. But then my sensitivity is towards a Kalinago race. So I'm saying, whereas the Afro-Dominican would have gotten parcels of land in Castle Bruce with a land title, parcels of land in Grand Bay with a land title. My people who own the Caribbean archipelago first, then Dominica and St. Vincent second, then 3,700 acres of land, we have nothing. And if we are to survive in a capitalist society, we need economic empowerment. We need to make a case for ourselves that we need to get out of the destitute situation that we are in. The situation where it is difficult to send our children to school. It is difficult to buy a vehicle as a need and not a want. It is difficult to get easy access to potable water. The difficulty is to have a Kalinago teenager at least once in his lifetime to get an opportunity to have a vacation in the US or the UK or even Martinique and Guadeloupe. And that is our situation. That is the reality of the Kalinago situation. So it is not divorced from everything. And even while we see our African brothers and our African brethren and our Afro-Dominican people making strides, we still have a lot to do for ourselves. And the argument comes up all the time, says that maybe we are not owed anything. Maybe we ought to aspire and develop ourselves within a capitalist society, and may the better man win. And like great philosophers in economics, for example, Adam Smith said, let the free hand on the market do its thing. But then it's not a level playing field. And the issue for reparations and the issue for the Kalinago people as part of this reparations project is to level the playing field. And to some extent, bring back a level of empowerment for the Kalinago people. And the Kalinago people, as part of a bigger indigenous community, a bigger race, as a tribe within a race, have had too many obstacles in their way. We could count on one hand at one time the number of doctors we had. And we see increasingly that we have more doctors and lawyers and other professionals. And it came to the point that even within my community we have struggles. Just like in the African Dominican community we have struggles. We have little inward fighting among ourselves. So I was told one time, why you want to study history? I think you'd be a brilliant lawyer and make money. And I'm saying to myself, many philosophers and great writers have spoken to the essence, the importance of history. Man without his roots. A lot of historians and people have written about the fact that the history is important. So the history of the Kalinago people is important when you talk about the Reparations project. So when again you ask the question, why is the Kalinago interested? Why should they be part of a project for reparations? It is because of the fact that they were killed off. There was a decisive genocidal project to get rid of these people, to replace them with a system, an African slavery system, to fulfill the needs of the European countries who are aspiring to expand their borders. And we'd understand through historical facts that the European peninsula couldn't take it all up. It couldn't expand. So they had to go to India, and we had to go to Africa, and the Caribbean was another part of the whole project, the whole movement. So as people living in the Caribbean region, Kalinago people, and even some of my local brothers in South America, and the Taino in Puerto Rico, the need for us to be part of this project and to get out of the profits that were gained from our genocides, from our wiping us, from us keeping us to be a third citizen in our own country. It is important that we become part of this project. And I'm happy to be here this evening. I'm happy to represent my Kalinago people. I'm happy to be, I was somehow endorsed by Chief Joseph, and we have long discussions, and I said earlier with Patrick Hill, and of how are we going to get out of our economic situation? How are we going to develop ourselves in the 21st century? And the Kalinago struggle, for sure, works simultaneously with an African struggle, or a Caribbean-African, Afro-Caribbean struggle. Thank you.